Mad Dragon, that had my mother off my side. They were four friends, so nutty and obnoxious, but full of dragon's pride.
It's the story of the great Jesse Godfrey, with Big T Coco and Mr. Rob. Never Jesse's crew, so fierce and passionate, and the red face shine true. Till the one day when
Johnny met young Jesse,
and they knew
it was much more than a hunt.
that this group would form a fiery podcast.
That's how we come from Mad Dragon's Punch. Mad Dragon's Punch. Mad Dragon's Punch. That's the way we became the Mad Dragon's Punch. Come on, Dragons fans! Fire up!
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Mad Dragons podcast. The team list Tuesday, round 7. This week we'll be previewing our upcoming game this Thursday night, where we will be taking on the Informed Seagulls, the Manly Seagulls. Although they are coming off 2 straight losses, I'm sure they'll be keen to get revenge at home and then in front of their home fans. But first of all, we'll welcome the panel tonight. So we do have Billy. Big T's just popped out for a moment. We do have Rob, the Man-Eye Dragon, and we also have our special guest, which Big T will introduce very shortly. We will have Hasman as well, who'll be joining us at some stage throughout the night as well. But before we get into everything, we'll hand over to you, Rob. So a couple of changes that Flano has made. So walk us through how the Dragons will line up on Thursday night to kick off round 7.
Mate, we've got Clayton Gutherson at fullback, Tyrell Sloan on one wing, and Matthew Figo on the other. It's interesting. Matthew comes in to replace CT, so hopefully he'll be playing his best footy for us, I hope. Moses Sully and Valentine Holmes in the centres. Kyle Flanagan at 5'8", Lachlan Lewis at halfback. Toby Cowtron, absolute Iron Man of our team. Prop, Damien Cooker, David Clemmer, starting prop as well too. Then we got on the second row, Luch and Jaden Sewer, and locking this from Jack DeBell. Then on the bench, Jacob Little, 14, his usual position. Then we got big busting blocker, 15. Number 16, Hamish Stewart. And number 17, how good is he going? Dylan Egan, absolutely magnificent. So, mate, that's the team list, Jesse.
Yep, thank you for that, Rob. So we'll discuss that. We'll discuss our team a little bit further very shortly. But I'll hand over to Big T. It's time or not where we discuss the opposition lineup. And before we get into that, here we go.
Come with me as we go behind enemy lines.
Fans on Big T, and this is Behind Enemy Lines. We've got our guest here tonight, Adam. Adam, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Welcome back from last year. We had I think we beat you last year, didn't we?
Sorry?
I think it was 1 each. I think it was 1 each last year, wasn't it?
1 each. We both won games.
That's right. Okay, I'll just run through the Manly side. Lehi Hopewadi at the back. Saab and Tommy Talau are the wingers. Kohler and Garrick are the centres. Brooks and DC in the halves. Josh Aloiai and Jazz Tavanga and Takayasu up front. Olakawatu, Aburbo, Gerbo is the back row. Jake Simpkins, Nathan Brown, Ethan Bullymar, Moore and Sipley on the bench. Falalo is the 18th man. Shoop, Arthurs, Navale and Cheekham are the rest of the team. Anthony Seabold's the coach. So welcome to the podcast, ads. I'm just going to say your guys got out of the blocks. Got out of the blocks. So I think it's your mic that's doing that noise. I think. Yeah, it is. Anyhow, that is better.
Yep.
Thank you very much. You come out of the blocks flying, mate. 4 wins, and then boom, you lost Turbo. Big loss to the Storm. Big loss to the Storm. And then you lost to the Surf Club rivals, Cronulla. Without Tommy, you're only 35% win rate. Is it no Tommy, no Manly? I'm going to ask you that again every year. We ask you, is there no Tommy, no Manly?
Oh, look, it's every year I try to deny it, but every year it gets harder and harder. I thought we were looking a lot better now with Lehigh as our little substitute, but you might need a little bit more game time before we can rely on
Yeah,
him.
I was going to ask you what your thoughts on Lehigh was, the little Hopewadi.
He came through last year. He debuted against Melbourne in down at Brookvale, and we got the win. And it was everyone's like, "Oh, Tom who?"
That's right. Yeah.
A little bit of second-year syndrome at the moment, but he's only got room to improve.
All right, we've been going win-loss since 2017, and that was our last actual win at, I think it was Lotto Land back then.
Yep.
What do Manly need to do to, like, they've gone 2 losses in a row. What do they need to do to break their losing streak, apart from win?
I think we just need to. We had a bit of controversy last.
Oh, he's on mute.
What happened there?
You got me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I think we had a bit of controversy the last couple of weeks. Obviously, with Cherry Evans announcing his not playing for the club in 2026. I think it's just sort of rattled the club just a little bit. We're still all thinking about it. It's still the talk of the town, and we just need to put that aside us and start focusing on the future and Cherry's last year with the club. Melbourne's always going to be tough, but to have 48 put on us at home, that was not great. And then go over to Perth and lose to the Sharks. And although the scoreline didn't suggest so, we didn't deserve that scoreline.
Now, I thought your guys were a little bit soft in the middle, and when your bench comes on, it gets even softer. I think. What can Manly do about that? Like against the Storm, you were soft all over. They were scoring everywhere, but against the Sharks, it was more down the middle. I think so.
Yeah, it was. We lost Paseka. We've lost him in one of the early rounds. We've lost him till finals. We've always lacked a bit of depth in the front row. We've got a few young guys coming through, like Caleb Naval and Bullymore stood up for us this year as well. I think we just need to set. I like the bench rotation of Bullymore and Brown coming off the bench, but I think we just need some strike up front and someone just to settle the troops for the first 20 minutes, whether we move Jake to that front row and put Brown at lock. But we need to sort that out. Or maybe if we debut a couple guys and get some games under them, but we need to sort that front row out because we just get tired after about 30 minutes and we just drop the ball.
Yeah. I was going to talk to you about DCE as well. Him and Brooks, a good combination. Are they doing enough in your eyes to be happy? You know, like they're doing enough. I don't think they're doing enough.
I think they. I like the combination they got. I like DC stirring the show and Brooks just being that step back 5'8", who can just use his running game and take his hands on the ball when he needs to. But at the moment, I think we just need to stick to our game plans. We're not as soon as something doesn't go our way, structure falls apart. When everything's going our way, Brooks and Cherry Evans are the most damaging combination in the league. But as soon as we get a cheap try against us, they try and play off the cuff footy and just it falls apart.
Well, they do play good off the cuff footy. They're the best team from in their own half to score a try, I reckon. When they throw that ball, and you got Saab on one side and Garrick on the other, you know, and Oh, and sorry, Talau on the other side, and they're both speedsters, so we've got to watch them this week.
Sorry.
No, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I was that having Talau back in the team now is going to be massive for us. He obviously played his first game of the year last year, but it's even though it is off the cuff footy coming out of our own end, that is our game plan.
Yep.
And that's how we score. That's how we do well. But as soon as we had something go wrong against us, we start to panic and start making silly mistakes.
Well, my most favourite try of Manly's was when Garrick picked it up on the dead ball line, and then I think Turbo scored down the other end.
Round 25, 2021.
Yeah, that was a great try. That one.
Yeah.
He picked it up on his dead ball line, and he scored on the try line. Anyway, anyone else got any questions? Yeah, that's right. Anyone else got any questions for Adam?
Oh, mate, good to see you too. I don't remember last year. It was great to have you back on again, mate. So thank you to yourself and Big T. Mate, I guess the thing for me with Manly and with the Dragons is inconsistency. You know, 1 week we can be beating one of the top teams, or we can be blowing a team off the park, and the next week we can be mediocre, or you know what I mean, or win 2 and lose one. So I guess it's consistency, mate. That's the thing that I see, you know, for both teams. So it's going to be a really interesting game, you know, come the weekend, because there's been some adversity, of course, with Cherry Evans. That was the thing I was going to say. It's probably disappointing that if it's true that he ends up going to another club, that he can't be a one club, you know, man. I've actually cousins on the other side of the family, Jeff Tooby, same age, 55.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I know Jeffrey was a one club man. He got offered actually by the Dragons to go to the Dragons, but stayed with Manly. So it would be tough, I imagine, on the players and on the, you know, knowing DCE is going. And, so it's a little bit of an interruption. But hopefully, you know, they'll turn that around the corner, but not this weekend, of course. Or not Thursday night.
Yeah, when it first got announced, our first game was at Brookvale against Canberra. He got a standing ovation when he ran out on the field. Yeah. The fans love him. Look, if he goes signs with the Catalan Dragons over in the Super League, I'll be more than okay with that. But it would hurt me to see him play at another club, whether it be the Roosters or Bulldogs or. I could easily see him in the Super League, and you might actually get me a Dragons fan out of me if he's over there.
I think he's got ties to the Dolphins too, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's
He could end up there.
It's not like he can't go another season. I mean, I was probably one of the main people that had a problem with Ben Hunt because he wanted out of the Dragons so many times. But obviously, these guys can play 35, 36, 37, 38, maybe even. You know, Cameron Smith, I think, you know, as a hooker, played 37, 38.
Paul Gallen was 38 odd.
Yeah, so DC's. But apparently, they reckon he's the fittest in the club too.
He's 100% he is. Yeah.
Yeah, so fitter than the younger blokes.
He's lost in 15 years of NRL. He's missed like 20 games or 30 games overall, including Origin games.
Yeah, incredible. He's incredible in Origin as well too. I mean, far out.
Queenslander, yeah, come on, son.
Oh no, mute. No,
Mute, turn him off. Billy, you got any questions, son?
Let me see. If you were Manly, well, how would you attack the Dragons? Where are their weak points?
I think we just got to stick to what we know and just attack from our own end, go out the sides. You've got Tupanua out this week. I think he's got a hamstring injury. So who's replaced him on the wing?
Fenoi,
yeah. So I think we just be attacking those edges, same as we do from inside our own half. Saab's back this week. Talau's playing again, and just play what we know. Stick to what we know. Back the home crowd behind you, and just get back to winning at Brookvale.
Yeah. Jess?
I was going to say, Manly have averaged over 30 points a game in their games so far at home this year. What do you think is the key to that? And you've had some decent crowds there. I think there's been sellouts in pretty much all of them. is Brookie starting to become a fortress again, like it once was before, as it's called Fortress Brookie?
Yeah, I think, obviously we lost to Melbourne last round, but I've been every Brookvale game since that post-COVID 22, 23, 24. It's just been building and building. We're selling out a week and a half advance at the moment. My Dragons mate from down the coast bought his ticket a week and a half ago, and it was selling out. It is a fortress. Like the crowd's there when we're up on the hill, and I've got friends in the far grandstand can hear our chants and hear us screaming and shouting. And I wouldn't imagine it's a nice place to visit as an away team. But yeah, we just at Brookvale we get behind the team. It's sea of maroon and gold, and we just back them every week.
I was going to say, Adam, you wouldn't want to be Leon from the Matty John show and visit again, would you? And get hit by Uncle Larry?
Not at all.
No chance. No chance.
That wasn't fake either, I don't think. No, that was real. Not in slow.
Have you heard
You pay me enough money for that.
No, you wouldn't. Have you heard any of the rumours about Lockie Galvin going to Manly?
I've read that he's looking to go to other clubs.
Same manager or something as Seabold or something.
Yeah, Moses. Yeah, I don't think he's what we need. I think we need a structured halfback at the moment. Leave Brooks where he is. I don't want to mess with Brooks and put the pressure back on Brooks. Would I take him? Yes, but I'd probably be taking Jamal Fogarty over him at this point.
Yeah, I bet there's a few clubs looking at Jamal Fogarty.
Apparently, Manly I've offered him a 2-year deal, so just a matter of time. I have heard the Raiders have plans for young Ethan Sanders to bring him through, but he's still very young. So, but Manly's offered him a 2-year deal. Have you heard that too, Adam?
Yeah, I think first reports were $1 million for 2 years. And we were all laughing at that $500,000 a year, but I think that's bumped up to $600 or $650 now. No, look, I think Jamal's exactly what we need. We got a couple young guys coming through. Joey Walsh is the main one, and he's about 2 years away from first grade. So I think it's a perfect in between. Whether Fogarty after that moves to a hooker role and sort of leads the team from hooker, and whether we got the young half. I think it's the perfect fit for us signing Jamal.
You lost Jamie Humphries, didn't you, to Souths?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie Humphries. We also lost Finau from to the Tigers.
Yep.
Oh,
he was another young half.
You're losing a lot of those young blokes that won the under 17s, was it under 18s? They're all
back
coming
in
through now.
2017.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
a
Christian
lot of
Chalk,
he's one of them
ex-Manly
too.
winger.
Yeah.
How do you feel that he's not playing this week? He's been one of the form wingers of the comp this year.
So who was that?
Christian
Who's
Torquato,
playing?
who showed me the money.
The money man. Look, he started off great. I always liked him. He was a Manly. He was at Manly before you guys. And,
Yeah.
I think he's a great winger. I'm stoked he's not playing this week. I don't think I could handle him going over at Brookie and giving me a few dollar symbol signs.
All right, Jess, do you want to start it up? Now that this time of night, guys, we'll go for a walk down memory lane. That's Manly this time. Brought to you by Essence and Light. No touchy for home and body. They're a small batch candle company. They make beautiful candles. Check them out on Facebook. Our website is coming soon. All right, played 36 games between Manly and the Dragons. 23 wins for the Dragons, 13 wins for Manly. 836 points Dragons have scored and 658 points Manly have scored in those wins. So it's not a bad effort by the Dragons there. All right, we're going back to Friday, September 15, 2006. Dragons and Sea Eagles semi-final series, Aussie Stadium. Referee Paul Simpkins. Crowd 30,907. We'll just run through the sheets. Teams. Clint Greenshields. Well, Clint Greenshields played for the Dragons for a couple of years. He's a Sawtell Panther junior. They're up on the north coast of New South Wales. 35 games, 11 tries. Didn't do much in Australia. Debuted against Manly in 2004. Didn't do much, but then went to England. Went to France. Played for the Catalan Dragons for a number of years, 146 games, 86 tries, and he actually played for France. And he qualified because he lived there for 3 years. So, well done, Clint. Well done, son. All right, go for the teams here. Nagama and Morris on the wings, Millard and Cooper for the Dragons. In the centres, Barrett and Hornby. Bailey, Goal and Riles up front. Bickerstaff, who's playing his 100th game in this game. Sims and Timmins on the bench. Nathan Brown, the coach. Cray, Wicks, Poor, and Matty Head on the bench. Manly coached by Des Hasler back then. I think he'd done 2 or 3 stints at Manly. The Snake at the back, Stewart at the back, Robertson and Stevenson on the wings, Hicks and Matai in the centres, Burns and Orford in the halves, King, Monaghan and Kite, Menzies, Watmow, Kennedy lost the scrum, Dunley, Williamson, Luluai and Bryant on the bench. All right, 20 minutes going backwards and forwards. I watched this game the other day. Going backwards and forwards for 20 minutes. Nobody could score. And then Dragons, BMOS, over for a try. Where are we? Looking for me
Rookie
paper.
season for BMOS.
It was his rookie season, that's right. Cray made a 40-metre break, played the ball 20 metres out, and the ball went across the line, went to Barrett, onto Bickerstaff, who passes it back to Greenshields. He closes his eyes and throws the ball over his head and lands in BMOS' arms, and he scores over in the corner. Dragons were 6-0 after the kick. Oh, Aaron Gold kicked the penalty goal to make it 8-0. That was half-time score. 8-0. 8 Dragons, Manly 0. The second half, right after half-time, our captain, he goes over and scores a typical Ben Hornby try. Gets the ball, steps, runs, dummies, and just barges his way over. I think he thought he was the front rower. So 12-0. 65th minute, Millard scores a try. Ball from Head to Barrett to Hornby. Look at those names. Super. Great names. Barrett, who throws a long bullet ball to B-Muzz on his chest. He goes into the Robinson and Matai tackle, flicks the ball out the back to Millard. Millard goes over, 16-0. 67th minute, Ashton Sims with an absolutely perfect ball. Perfect weight on the ball, kicks it through. You see Matty Cooper there? He's over. The first one to there. Dragons 22. Manly 0. And this last try, after Orford kicked the ball off his 20, B. Morris picks the ball up on the halfway, weaves his way through a tired Manly defence who were up there. They were staggered. They were staggering. Just went through there, scored the try. Well done. Well done. Bemos scored 2 tries that night. 7th minute, Aaron Gold kicks the goal. 3 from 3 from Aaron. Where's Nagama? Not 1 for 1. Matty Head, none from 2. He wasn't a bad kicker. He kicked a couple of clutch kicks for us, so he's done his work. 67 tries, 67 games for the Dragons, 7 tries, 95 goals, 1 field goal, 219 points, and a 55% win rate at the Dragons. So that's not too bad. After football, he went on to coach the Datla Canaries. But both the Dragons and the Shark kicking coach, Tigers SG ball, Dragon under 20 side. I think that's Toyota Cup. Cutters 17-19. Assistant coach to Griffin in 21. Now he's the head coach up at Wynnum Manly. So good on him, and I hope he goes a long, long way. So all right, that was full time. Dragons 28, Manly 0 in the 2006 semi-final, knocking them out of the semi-final. Ben Kennedy played his last game for the Manly Warringah Seagulls. Thank you for joining me. That was behind enemy line and I walked down memory lane. That's been a Big T presentation brought to you by the Mad Dragon Vodcast and Essence and Light, Nature for your home and body. They small batch candles. Check them out on Facebook. Go and have a look. They're great. And look at that. Who's that? That's a young Jess. He's showed me a photo. Tell us the story about this photo, Jess.
Oh, as you are as a kid, everyone wants to be a superhero, and I just pretend just me playing dress up as a superhero as a kid.
What did you call yourself? Captain Headband.
Well, I can't remember. A long time ago.
Long time ago. About 7 there, yeah?
Yeah.
7 years. Thanks for sending that photo in, Jess. If anybody else wants to send a photo in of them with a little bloke or a little lady dressed up in their footy gear or whatever, send it to me and I'll put it up there like I'm just on the Jag. The rest is history, Jess. And there's much more to be made. So I'm back to you in the central commentary box.
Well, notice, funny thing you said that 28-0 Big T. Both times we've actually beaten Manly in the semi as St George Illawarra. Both times we've won 28-0. 2010. 2010 qualifying final, we won 28-0.
I was going to mention something really interesting. You said 28 years ago, there was a very significant try scored against Manly. Adam, I don't know how old you are, mate.
28.
I remember watching that grand final, and I was with some mates, and we almost got kicked out of the club because Manly lost. Sorry, Adam, but Darren Albert got a try from Newcastle. And, mate, I got knocked off my seat. The boys were so rooting for Newcastle.
All right. All right. Give us your prediction for the game, Eds.
I think we're going to start strong, hold it strong. I think we're going to have the crowd behind us heading into the Easter long weekend. I reckon we'll get up 32-10.
What do you about the try scorers? Who's going to score those 32 points?
Talau will get a double. I think we'll have Brooks do a show and go over the line, and Bullymore has been scoring for fun at home this year. Yeah. He's got 4 tries already. I think Bullymore will get over as well for 1 or possibly a double.
And who do you think's the biggest threat to Manly? Which player are you worried about for the Dragons?
I'm scared of the old Manly junior, Clint Gutho.
Yeah, everyone's scared of him.
Yeah, Narrowinner Hawks boy. I think he knows what it's like to play at Brookie. He grew up around the area, and he's still quite close with some of the Manly boys. I think if anyone can get under the skin of us, it will be him.
Didn't he actually go back to Manly and ask to go there before he joined the Dragons?
Oh, why wouldn't he?
No. And Manly said, no, we don't want you. Manly said, no, we don't want you.
I haven't heard. That's the first I heard that one, but I think we are. In the terms of fullbacks, I think we've got a few of them at the moment.
Garrick's not a bad fullback either.
Neither's Kohler.
Kohler, that's right. Yeah. All right, thanks very much. You've been absolutely fantastic.
Boys. Legend. Good luck on the weekend.
Do we play again this year? We play again this year, don't we?
Round 26 or 27 at Cogra.
All right, let us know if you can make it.
No worries, boys.
Great to have you again.
Good to chat to you. Talk to you soon. Thanks, boys.
Bye. No, thanks, mate.
All right, so we'll get into a chat about our team. So everyone was hoping that it was going to be Sione Finau, Rob. But as no surprises, Flano has gone with Matt Finau to come in for the injured Christian Tuipulotu. Give us your thoughts on this, Rob. Why Finau, not Sione Finau?
Look, I think it's again Flano gained the experience from the past, but it disappoints because I like that extra speed in the back line, Jesse. We're a very big back line, probably with the exception of Sloane. Obviously, he can motor, but the rest of the boys are pretty big. They're not fast, but they're physical. And just that extra pace, would have been great. And I know it's only Charity Shield, but obviously he was exceptional in the Charity Shield. I just thought he deserved another go, you know what I mean? But, I think he's just got experience. It seems to be what Flano does. Although, mind you, we've had, obviously, Dylan Egan come in, Hamish Stewart. But for some reason with the back line, I don't know, he doesn't seem to maybe want to gamble that way. But I think he should because you've got to look to the future as well, right? At the end of the day.
Big T. So Lockie Ilias, he's come a lot about under a lot of fire for his form in the last few weeks.
Yep.
Do you think the pressure is off him a little bit now that we had the win against the Titans, or he's got to back that up and
he's got to back it up, mate. Even his manager was not brave for Nasta. Give him a rocket. So, I think he's got to show it up again. Ever since Flano outed him in press conference, I don't think he's missed a beat. So hopefully he can build on what he did last week. And become a better player. And he's a good player now. Don't get me wrong, but he can be better.
I think Anasta said 3 to 4 games. So I'm sure you can believe that because he's the player manager. I think he's trying to motivate Ilias as well by putting him out there as well, like what Flano did. But yeah, 3 to 4 games. So obviously the Titans game was the Titans game, but now we're playing Manly and the Roosters, right? So I assume they're going to be tougher games.
Well, Billy, one thing we did notice in that game against the Titans, like we had a big lead, we couldn't go on with it. Manly, as Rob highlighted there, are a different kettle of fish. If we go off on them, they could pile on the points. They've averaged 30-plus points at home this year. What do you think Flano's message would be? And if we've got them, if we're out to a big lead, we've got to go on with the job and grab them by that throat.
Yeah. Well, I think the message would just be quite simple. Just do the basics of the game. Hold the ball, complete your sets. We've only completed over 80% once in the 5 games of this season. So if we just stick to that and we can hold the ball, we've seen what we can do in the attack. And without dropping the ball or giving stupid penalties away, our defence has been pretty solid otherwise. So if we can just be simple, we'll go a long way on the weekend.
Yep. Now, Luciano Leilua has been named on the edge despite starting that Titans game off the bench. Big T, what do you think? Do you think that there's a chance that could switch up before kickoff? Dylan Egan had a strong run on debut, didn't he?
Yeah. Let me answer the question. Dylan Egan had a great game last week. He got our man of the match, I think, our player of the match. I wouldn't be surprised if he did it again, and I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't do it and let him have a rest on the bench this week. So it depends on how if Leilua starts, yeah, I don't know what Coach Flanagan's going to do, but I'd start Egan.
Yep. And Leilua had a bit more of an impact off the bench. Do you see Leilua as an impact player, Rob? How did you see his game off the bench as opposed to starting in the games to start the year?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's an impact player, like what Big T's saying. I think he can be explosive that way. He's a big guy, so I don't know if it really benefits him starting and even playing more minutes. I think if you can use him as an impact, I mean, you've got the likes of Egan now and Couchman. He'll just go all day, mate. They would go all day for you. Young, fit. So it looks to me, Big T, he might be wanting to start with a bigger pack against Manly. Maybe that's the only other thing I can think of. Bigger bodies.
Well, Manly have got a big pack. Yeah.
I think maybe that might.
Aloiai.
Olakau'atu.
They're a huge pack.
Takiaho.
That's right, Takiaho as well. So yeah, we've got to watch them. But I think Egan can handle that. He's just that sort of player. He goes for 100 minutes. He's got a big motor.
And we know Flano. What he puts out here now before the game can change.
Exactly right.
He likes not playing games, but he likes making last minute changes.
Billy, Matt Feeney hasn't played since that round 1 game, and we all know what happened that game. Matt Burt absolutely suffocated him, and the Bulldogs kick chase. They just would not let him run all night. Do you think DCE would be watching that footage and plotting a similar raid on Matt Feeney?
I mean, they would be dumb not to try and kick towards him. Out of all our backline players, the ones to catch the ball, Gutho catches it safe. He's safe under the high ball. Still runs about 10 metres every time. And Sloan is pretty safe as well from what I've seen. So Feeney is probably the best option for Manly. And DCE, he's a dangerous kicking game, so he'll probably just realise that himself and absolutely target him. I'm hoping Feeney can just come up and have his best game for us in a while. So
yeah,
we
were talking earlier, Billy. The last thing he done was in 2021, wasn't it? When he scored that try against Brisbane.
Yeah,
we were talking about that before. He really has to pull his socks up. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I feel like Finau should still play. I just think that's the smartest option. He's pacey. He's got pace on the wing.
Oh, yeah, yes.
We're going to get outlapped easily because Finau's defensive decisions have not been as of great recently, and he's
Oh.
slow. So
Finau's up against Saab.
yeah,
And that their centre's fast too, mate.
Or will they swap wingers and put Sloan on Saab?
good.
Who knows? And you mean Kohler, don't you, Rob?
Yeah, Kohler, yeah. Bloody
Garrick
fast.
Kohler.
too.
If his nickname's not Coke, I don't know what Manly are doing wrong. No, it's got to be Coca-Cola, doesn't it? Hey? Has to be.
But yeah, their back line's quite fast.
Yeah, 100%, mate. So we have to be careful, definitely. And Billy's all right. We, we can run the risk of getting, the overlap happening to us, coming in off the wing. So it is a concern. And obviously, Saab's bloody fast. So
Yeah.
I don't even think Gutho would catch him. You know what I mean? So
I think-
we're in trouble if he gets through.
Saab would be quicker than Saab, wouldn't he? Hey?
Yeah,
The old
Saab would be
Saabs.
quicker than Saab.
Yeah. The car Saab. The car Saab. He'd be
Well, he'd
quicker
be-
than that, wouldn't he?
But he'd be in the top 3 or top 5 players fastest in the in the NRL. He'd have to be up there somewhere, wouldn't he? Over 100
Maybe
meters.
top 10. I don't know about
Yeah,
fast.
top 10, I'd say.
I think Hammer's the fastest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Sione Finau. Do you think that Flano is playing a porky and could do a late inclusion? Or we're hoping that way anyway.
Hope so.
Yeah, everyone's hoping.
Yeah,
He deserves it. He deserves it too.
Yeah, he does. For the 30 minutes before he got the heat stroke in the Charity Shield game, and scoring 4 tries, although that was fairly easy from the
Answer that telephone.
pile.
It's Liam Fallon.
He's trying to break into the
Hello.
podcast.
Hello,
It's
Liam.
Scoop, right? He's messaged me 3 times saying Flano's had a coffee with Moses, and I'm wondering who the hell's he talking about Moses? I think he said Isaac Moses. So
He could though, because he's Flano's
Yeah.
manager as well.
yeah. So
So
keeps
his
telling
link's
me
there
it's
as well.
Scoop.
Just got a message from Adam too. He said, thanks for having me on and then good luck on Thursday night.
Yeah, good on him. Thanks, Ads.
Thank you,
Good
bud.
man.
Yep.
All right. So we'll
Yeah,
go
but
into
Rory reckons Finlay has to play. So
he 100% does.
he
100%.
does. Okay, let's move on. Let's go.
All right, so we'll get into there was a media conference with one of the fan favorites today, Jack DeBellin, on where the team's at and what we have to do to get the chocolates on Thursday night. No pun intended, being the kickoff to the Easter long weekend. Here's Jack DeBellin.
Big Jack.
You're an expert, and you've got a few young ones really making their mark in the first group. What's it like to see that happening?
Nah, it's awesome.
Oops.
What
Like
happened
Jack
there?
coming through, and I'm excited for them.
Do they speak to you much or ask you for advice and sort of with that and make that leap up? Or?
Not really. Like it's more just like an informal thing. You know what I mean? Like they're just one of the boys. I'm one of the boys as well. So it's kind of like it's one of those things where I see myself as an elder statesman. So I need to give them all this info and whatnot. It's just like they're a part of the team, and as I was saying, they're really good kids and they're learning very well.
John's been thrown into the deep end really quickly and then played pretty much all minutes on the weekend. Do you think the pressure of the situation just gets the job done? How impressed have you been?
Yeah, and I'm very impressed with the Eagle, Dylan Egan. He's a hard worker. He's a great kid, and it's just reward for how hard he's worked and trained the last couple of years. And same as with Hamish and the Couchmans, like they're just all really good kids, and they just work hard. And I think it shows in their performances and as a team as a whole. We're a hard-working team, and they fit really, really well in, to be honest.
We've been added the forward pack so far this year. Obviously, Dylan's a new one, Hamish as well. And you haven't got guys left on last minute playing as much. Or with their injury or whatnot, but some new faces in the forward pack.
Yeah, I think the forward pack's been doing a really good job, to be honest. It's a good mix of some older players and younger players, and like a good mix of fast moving and some bigger bodies. So I think we're doing a good job at the moment. There's always room for improvement, and I think we're tracking along okay.
What do you make of Lockie's performance? Nice crisis to Dylan at the end there, but just controlled the game quite well as well. What do you make of his performance?
Yeah, no, he did a really good job for us, I think. Just like everyone in the team, I thought everyone nailed their job and did their role perfectly, and Lockie was no different to everyone else on the side. He just did his job, and that's what we pretty much need from him and from everyone.
Was that the difference? Everyone doing their job?
What kind of I think we've been doing that pretty well, and everyone has been doing their job. It's just probably icing those big moments, or when we've had those leads, we just haven't really protected them well enough. And you know what, everything's a lesson, I suppose, and we just got to learn from them.
What did you make of where the points were scored?
It was a good mix throughout the whole park. I think we scored a few tries everywhere, and we've got strike all over the park. And I think attack hasn't been our problem this year. We've been able to score points. It's been our defence, and I feel like our defence is definitely improving, and I feel like our goal line defence has been much better as well.
Is that a bit of a concern that they were able to spend so long in the 20?
Yeah, probably is a bit of an issue in the sense that we give them so much cheap ball and we're turning it over a lot more than we probably should be. But on the positive flip side to that, we have been defending really well, and we've shown that we can defend our try line and turn sides away. So, it's like it's a flip of the coin there. It's a good and bad, but at the same time, we are doing better.
And Manly this weekend, what are you going to do while they shut them down against so much strike across the park without Turbo and then their forwards as well? Something typical.
Yeah, no, they're a really good strike attacking team, and they pretty much anywhere. It doesn't matter where they are on the field, short sides, they'll throw the ball anywhere. So we've just got to be switched on there. And it's a big day for our defence again. And I feel like if we get our defence on, we'll be able to score points. So yeah.
At the high of Melbourne and the low of Parramatta, how do you make sure that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, the joys of rugby league. You can one week you can be on top of the world, and the next week you can be at the bottom. So. It's a game of inches, I suppose, and we could have probably should have won the Para game. So, and then the week before that with the Storm game, that was a clinical performance. And if you've been watching how well the Storm been going, they're untouchable at the moment. So we've shown we can compete with anyone. So it's pretty much just on us.
Should be 4-1.
All right. So,
like he said, we should have beat Parramatta. We should have beat the Titans by 50 on the weekend. We didn't go all of it. Shut up shop again.
Yep. I mean, Rob, we do that against a team like Manly. If we put the queue in a rack 20 minutes to go, Manly are a team that can pile on the points quickly if we're not up for this game, isn't that right?
Well, 100%.
Like if we get to, we've seen twice this year, well, 3 times we've got to good convincing leads, and for 2 of those games we haven't gone on with the job. I know we played the Titans, but no disrespect to them, they're not one of the more stronger sides in the comp, but Manly are a top 8 side, potentially a top 4 side on their day. If we go to sleep early and try to defend our way to victory, it could be another lead that we just give up, and we're not a sort of a side that can defend a lead with the way we play. We're a team that we have. If we get to a big lead, we just got to go on with it. Now, Rob, I know you're a CT fan. How much of a loss do you think he is in this game? He's been one of our form players to start the year, if not our best.
Big loss, mate. He's not just his try scoring ability, what he does running the ball back, especially from our line, the carries, his positive attitude, his passion. He's excited about everything. He's behind every player on the field. Obviously one of our best players. A guy who keeps our back line very strong as well too. A massive loss, mate. So, I'm really worried about what's going to happen on the wing. as what we've been talking about. So we'll have to see who actually starts on Thursday night. But yeah, man, massive loss without a doubt. So yeah, how long's he gonna be out for, Jess? Is he?
It's a week-to-week proposition.
Yeah, through. Okay, yeah.
At
So
the
it's not
moment.
just. It's
So
just.
I know it's hopeful it's only this week,
Yeah.
but hamstrings are very tricky. You don't want to rush him back too soon because he could be out even longer. So
Because he can really tear it and make it worse.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's hoping 1 week. Hopefully he's back for Anzac Day. If not, maybe 2 to 4 weeks. But if he's not right, I would keep him on the sideline as long as possible until he gets it right.
Has he had hamstring problems in the past?
Yes, he's had it recurring before. He had it last year too.
They can't come back early, otherwise you are running a big risk.
Now Kyle Flanagan got 3 points in the Dally M count yesterday, Billy. Is Kyle Flanagan as much as under pressure as Lachlan Ilias? I thought he had one of his better games last Friday, but he can get better.
Oh, he definitely can. But he competes on everything. Like his effort everywhere. He's not a flashy. He's never going to be a flashy player. But he delivered some beautiful passes on the weekend too. So if he can add that sort of stuff to his game frequently, there's going to be no pressure on him whatsoever, especially for winning like we did on the weekend. I think he's been good.
And looking through the, had a look through the overall game that we played at Brookie. Actually, our record's not great there. In 13 games we have played on the Northern Beaches, Manly have won 8. We've just won the 5. So
it's pretty juicy. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Close results.
Yeah.
Yep. Their most recent win there was back
2017?
time ago, actually.
2017, Lotto Land.
35-10, Gareth would have scored out of dummy half. Because Cherry Evans didn't get the ball out of dummy half. Crazy.
All right, which will lead us into our next segment where our viewers get involved. All right, so yes, Billy and Big T did mention our last win was in 2017 at Brookie against Manly. So we haven't played there too often though. Recently, we did play there last year. I remember for a call, we Manly were down to 15 players, 14 or 15 players on the bench. We still couldn't go on with the job. So we do have one player that was in that did play in that game actually back in 2017. One player that will take his place in the lineup on Thursday night. But there was one player in that game who's no longer at the club who scored a double in that 35-10 win. Can you name who scored the double in that big win over Manly? Fire away in the comments. He is playing at another Sydney club right now.
Yeah. I definitely know. What can I say?
I'm not going to say his name. Atkinson. Oh.
You're not allowed to participate.
I'm just looking. Liam Fallon. You and Aiken scored a double. Yes or no?
He did, but Scoop's not allowed to participate.
He's not
a
even
panel member.
He's fine. It's fine.
No, and Jason Saab actually he wasn't playing NRL yet. He was still young boy then, back in 2017. Didn't debut till 2019 with the Dragons, but yeah, 2017 as Big T and Billy said, we won 35 points to 10. With Gareth Wood also got a double as well. In fact, Jack de Belin was a try scorer as well as Kurt Mann. And Gareth Wood had kicked 4 goals and kicked a penalty goal. Halftime, we led 16-6. So here was the side if you want to know who played on that day. Nightingale at fullback. We had Nene McDonald and Kurt Mann on the wings. Ewan Aitken and Tim Laffey in the centres. We had Gareth Woodop and Josh McCrone in the halves. Up front, we had Russell Packer, Paul Vaughan, Cameron McInnes at dummy half. Back rows, we had Tyson Frizzell and Joel Thompson. And locking the scrum, as he will do on Thursday night, is Jack de Belin. On the bench was Tarek Sims and Leeson Armour, Hame Sele and Tane Milne. And the coach is Mary McGregor.
A few of them still playing.
Mm-hmm. And a few Manly boys, actually. Manly, I'll go through the Manly side who played on that day, just to refresh your memory. Tommy Turbo was the fullback. George Tafua and Matthew Wright were the wingers. Dylan Walker and Brian Kelly in the centres. Blake Green and Daly Tree Evans in the halves. Brenton Lawrence and Martin Tupper at the front row. Appy Coruscant, the hooker.
Pow.
Rowers were Frank Winterstein and Curtis Sirinen, and locking the scrum as he will on Thursday night as well, Jake Trebojevic. On the bench, Lewis Brown, Nate Miles, Darcy Lussick, and Adam Fanua Blake. And the coach was Trent Barrett.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll continue on. And now we'll discuss. Many people have been saying about how impressed they were with Blake Laurie's performance. Billy, what did you make of his performance? And it's a very well deserved retain that he's kept his spot this week.
Yeah, no, I love the effort that he had. 100 meters for 9 runs, that's some 2023 stats out of the box from him. So it's good to see him back in some decent form again. Last year, very unfortunate year for him, but it's good to see him back, and hopefully he can keep it up, because when he's going at his best, we're a better footy side. So.
And then we'll get into now Fino Latu. I'm pretty sure it's the first time he's been named in the 22. Rob, he's been linked to move to Newcastle and the Bulldogs. I'm not sure if it was discussed on Sunday night, but would you like to see him get a debut soon before he's at risk of leaving the club?
No, absolutely, mate. I watched him in reserve grade with Loco, and I just think they're ready. You know what I mean? I know they're young, but obviously there's some young players that can do it. And I think they're ready, mate. So, to add to the Egan's of the world, the Carltons of the world, and why not? You know what I mean? Obviously we've got some aging players there in JDB, and so yeah, I can't see why not. Give him a run, blood him, at different stages. I'm sure Fano can pick the right games, but we don't want to lose potentially, really top players.
If he's looking somewhere else, why would you blood him? Just to say, you're part of our team, come and have a run, you sign with us. But
I agree, mate. But is it true? Is it true that he's really looking, or is it just?
Oh, he's been to the 2 places. He's been there.
Yeah.
That's like the Tigers have dropped Lockie Galvin this week. They've dropped the whole side because the leadership.
I've called for it.
Yeah, the leadership group said we don't want to play with him anymore.
He wants out. So I agree. Yeah, I suppose he went out. I busted on about Ben Hunt for how long. So if a player wants out, doesn't play with the Red V,
his heart's not in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
But he should be looking. He should be looking at JDB's maybe got 1 more year left in him. Hit it out for 1 more year, and you can play for your junior club. That's right. If we do offer him 1 more year, Finau might be. Latu might be the next one that goes into that position.
So we've discussed our team a bit, but Big T, we've seen that if things aren't going our way, we can open up quite easily.
Oh yeah.
What we've got to do to shut down Manly? Who's the main player we've got to shut down? Is it DCE? Who do you think we've got to shut down?
We've got to shut down DCE and Luke Brooks. They've both been played well in the first 4 weeks there. And then they lost Tommy, and they've lost two big games against Manly and Cronulla, the 2 top 4 teams.
Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne. Sorry, yeah. But yeah, I just think we've got to concentrate. We've got to keep our mind on the game. If there is decisions that go against us, we've got to keep our chin up and carry on. Hopefully, we don't lose our captain's challenge too early this time around. Well, I think he's lasted 20 minutes has been his most he's lasted, I think. So, no, I just think we've got to stop DCE. You've got to stop Brooks. Again, look at Saab. If you get Saab early ball, he'll burn you every time.
Olakau'atu, mate. He's
got to be on top of Saab. Olakau'atu is doubtful, apparently. Saab's doubtful, apparently. But I expect them both to play, so I think we've got to stop DCE for a start.
Yep. And where do you think we can get some joy over Manly? I mean, like, the Sharks scored 5 tries on them. I've noticed they've scored some out wide, but I've noticed in that game against the Sharks, if we threw a few wild passes, the Sharks did a few, and Luke Brooks ran 90 meters to score. So we've got to be careful of these passes, because we do have those in our game. That if we throw those no look passes and it comes in the wrong hands, they're gone. We won't stop them, will we?
Yeah. Billy's asleep.
Sorry.
Too late, bro. He's got school tomorrow.
No. Thank God I actually don't. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I've been exhausted. Oh, we can't throw these passes. You know, I know we like to shift the ball, but I think personally, from what I saw against Cronulla rolled down the field. They literally just walked down the field. The middles were all over Manly. If our forward pack in the middle of the field can get over the top of Manly, especially because Manly's middle forwards aren't as don't have as much leg speed as Toby Couchman and Dylan Egan and Sua and Leilua and the likes of that. If we can get over them, I think we can get them pretty easily.
Yeah,
that's where we
got to win.
They looked very soft in the middle of the field, and they looked slow. They looked like they were going side to side. So we can just, go straight down the middle. I think we'll have a good day.
Yep, and the scoreline actually flattered Manly in the end, Rob, against Cronulla. Cronulla scored 5 tries to 3, but Nico Hines had an off day off the boot. So realistically, you look at it, Cronulla win 30-18. So do you take some joy out of that, or would you say no? It's a different. We're not the same side as Cronulla. You couldn't compare us to Cronulla.
Probably, yeah. I mean, Cronulla are a different pack to us as well too. They're big, but they're mobile as well too. I guess we're a different style. Probably crucially for us is the impact of Gutho. He's like another 5'8", really, with his try assists into the back line as well. I think that gets a little bit forgotten. We're talking about Kyle Flanagan. He's good with defence and all that, but I'm seeing a lot of play coming through Gutho in that back line, you know what I mean? To make that crucial pass at the end to get us try. I don't know. Is Gutho up there with the try assist this year? Must be up.
He's like 8 or 9. So
if he's doing the same sort of thing, and we're going through the middle like what Billy says, obviously we're a chance. Fowler's kicking well as well too. Putting some goals over, because I think there's going to be a fair few tries, and I'm tipping a close game. I think And I know we probably get to tips later on, Jess, but yeah, I think it's going to be like that. But we're going to have to play really well, mate. I mean, Manly are strong across the park. I mean, that Olakalani is a scary bloody bugger, mate. He can offload the ball, through the line. So
He can bust tackles too.
So yeah, you got to do that twice, and you can score. You can create a couple of tries. You know what I mean against us. So
Just
he's a
Tavanga
worry
as well.
He's a worry out wide, like you're saying, with our wingers that we've got defensively. If he's out wide, then when they come in on him, they're just going to get smashed to the ground. So it's a concern.
I think there was Jazz Tavanga as well.
Third, Guppo's third in try assists. Only Cameron Munster and Braden Trindle have made more.
Oh, there you
So
go.
how many has he got?
He's got 5. So he's
5? I thought he was up higher than that.
okay. He's tied with Jamal Fogarty.
Yeah. So like I said, he's playing like another 5'8" for us. He really is.
Yeah, Luke Brooks, who is in that Manly lineup, he's also got 5 try assists. So he's one we'd have to watch as well, as Big T alluded to earlier.
Yeah, he goes under the radar.
Yep. He's more of that. DC will run the show, but Luke Brooks can just play on the back of that and then just play ad-lib football. So we seem to lack that killer instinct, though. We did mention that against the Titans that we could have won by 50. Why do we shut off in when we've got a big lead, Billy? Why do you think that is?
That's a good
They're
question.
waiting for the time.
I no idea. I don't know why we shut off. It's not a fitness thing. I think it's just dumb football. Like, especially when we've got a lead, we just tend to think we've got it under wraps, I guess, and just let the game go. That's what I would say. But yeah, I have no answer to that. I don't even think the coach knows why they shut off.
Well, you want to take it, Big T. Why do you think we shut up shop when we have good leads? I mean, the Titans, as I said, no disrespect to them, but they should. Gear. But against Manly, we do that. We get our pants pulled down, don't we?
Yeah, we just go 1 and 2 out, like one out off the ruck, one out off the ruck, kick. We kick them into the corners. I'm guaranteed, like every time. So we'll get them in the right spots to defend against them down there. But yeah, I think we just close up shop. We think we've got the win. It's actually a mindset. They've got to get out of that mindset saying, well, we're 12 points up, we can win this game. And I think they're getting there now. Like, we got to 20 up in the Titans game at halftime. So we can do it. We can score. But yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah, I reckon it was those other games. It was just trying to protect the lead. So it was negativity coming in. Like, we're playing South. South have got all these players out or whatever. We're 12 up. We'll win.
We've got this.
We'll just slot a field goal maybe at some stage, and they got stuffed up as well. So it happened twice, obviously, as well.
Harrogate, yeah.
Yeah, so it's got to stop. It's just simply got to stop. So you either run away with it, or you close out the game properly. You know what I mean? You just give the opposition a chance.
Well, against the Titans, they went down to 12 players, and we did nothing with that. We
should have got 50 easily.
Oh, easy.
And there's a mentality.
Like I said on Sunday, if we play a top 4, top 6 team, we get beat that game.
Yeah.
But we got to win. That's the positive thing about it. We got to win, and we played ugly. So
yeah, like I've heard a few people. I was talking to a few people at the game in Wollongong on Friday, and even though we were up 24-4, they were nervous because of the way we gave up our last 2 games.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I was nervous. I think 20 points up, I thought we had it.
Especially against the Titans. But I think there's crucial things in the games. Like, I'm sure they'll improve. Like, Illy's kicked out.
There was crucial calls in the Titans game when one of their players played the ball and he got done for not being balanced.
He did
I thought that was a fine. Play the ball. I thought it was play the ball, play it on. See you later. So Titans were unlucky there.
It gets me down with the coach that Flannery's got to say to Ilias, like when we're closing out the game, don't go for the line so hard. Kick it to the corners, but kick it more to the middle of the field corners, not too close. You know what I mean? Where you might run the risk.
He made that one mistake.
He was trying to go for a 40-20, but you didn't need to go for a 40-20.
Yeah. And we got Val Holmes who kick a field goal, right? So he's done it before, like what Lomax did against us. So if we're in a position in this game we need a field goal, then do it.
Yeah.
Get in position.
I think we looked silly in our last play on Friday.
I don't know if it's true.
Two big passes back.
Yeah.
But I've heard that none of our halves have kicked a career field goal in their
I
entire
don't think
career.
they have. I listened to a podcast. I don't think they have either. Well, not in NRL or even New South Wales Cup. I don't think. So I don't know what
Flanagan more
Val Holmes has kicked a few.
I think Gutho may
Gutho
have
might have too.
Yeah. So we got some stocks for field goals. I think Ilias might be able to kick a field goal. I just don't think he's confident enough, which he needs to gain. So
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Ian Johnson highlighted that to a T. That first game on the Easter weekend in Wollongong. Remember that was an error-riddled game.
Yeah.
We belted Tommy Turbo. He
Manly,
couldn't
mate.
do anything right.
He
that
made
day.
5 or 6 mistakes.
He did. Yeah, he had eight mistakes. I think it was. So yeah, it was a non-turbo day for Turbo. That's for sure.
That's right.
And then we went to Brookvale last year. They were down to 14 men on the bench, and we still couldn't beat them. They had no players left on the bench.
Yeah.
So
That's always
So
but that's in the past. We can't worry about that.
Any viewer questions, Jess?
Thursday night. So Rory McDonald does have a suggestion about Lachlan Lear's kicking game. So should he make his penalty kicking games, he does have a huge boot on him, according to Rory.
Yeah.
he does. Yeah, he does have a kick on him. That's the thing.
Yes.
It's a confidence thing because
He does most of our kicking.
I think he's actually just worried about his leg. I don't know. He had a really long layoff, so he didn't come back till January.
Now, Rob, I know highlighted during the press conference in the Titans game. I think he said it in the week before too in that Para game. We make too many mistakes and we do a lot of defending. Is it? And as Donnie said before, I don't think we've completed above 75% at all during the season. Is ball security a huge problem that we need to address? And do we need to stop making these fundamental errors?
Absolutely. I mean, we can complete better. I think Billy was saying before. Billy was saying, was it one game 80% or
Yeah. The one, I think it was against South.
Yeah. So, mate, I mean that's crucial. And then they're dropping the ball in the bloody 20 meters. You know, I mean from our line. So it's putting pressure on our goal line defence, which has been good, obviously, in games. In certain games. So, mate, if that improves, we'll improve. Obviously, our results will be better as well. So, we hope.
Yes, Big Ben.
I was going to say, maybe we have to go to that sticky spray company and say it's not fucking working. We want better stuff. It's like, they're in your jerseys. It's not working.
Hey, but if it gets too sticky, you'll never get the ball off Gutho. It'll stick to his jersey. He'll be running in the crowd with it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we went to the footy once and Marty, my mate, caught the ball in the crowd. And his jersey was all covered in glue off the ball. The ball was that sticky. It was unbelievable.
My son's a goalkeeper, right? Played high level reps. It's called like the sticky type glue. It's glove glue. He put it on his soccer glove. He can pick up the ball like that. He can turn it and all that, and it won't come off. You literally throw it; it'll stay on there. So pretty powerful stuff, you know.
I've seen goalkeepers get caught there where it gets stuck in their hand and goes backwards.
Yeah.
Goal.
So you don't want to wipe your nose with that sticky glue, or you don't want to put it somewhere else. It might get too sticky.
All right. We'll break up a little bit. We'll hear from Toby Cashman, who's having a breakout year so far, I think, this year. His first time he's starting a season in the starting front row. and let's see what he says heading into Thursday night's game.
How big is that win for the confidence in the team and moving forward? They're working with the previous years.
Yeah, 100%. It's a massive win for us. Kind of felt like a must win after the way we let the game go versus Para, which we were obviously disappointed in. So, yeah, to bounce back with a win at home was really positive.
Well, when you look at or you break the game down, what's the most positive thing to take out of that? Was it the defence or the ability to put on so many points against Titans?
Oh, I think we know we've got the ability to put on points. It's just we stuck to our plan for the whole game, which is probably the first time we've done that. Our defence was good, and yeah, again, we probably had to defend a bit too much, put ourselves under a bit of pressure again. But yeah, it was pleasing. We know that when we held the ball, we can score points and cycle with teams. So yeah, we just need to keep doing that.
So say on that point as well, points scored all over the park. Is that a positive sign that it doesn't come from the same spot every time?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, our left side's been good this year. And yeah, we've got some points all around the park, which it was positive, and our attacks when we get down to the opposition end is looking pretty good.
And Flanagan, when you got into the shed after the game, what was he most impressed with? Was there anything he wanted you guys to work on?
Yeah, obviously, we got to a lead and held it. Both the Rabbits game and the Eels game, we let it slip, and yeah, that's what he was most pleased with. The fact we were able to close the game out and get a good win.
How impressed were you with Dylan Egan? I think 47 tackles, just everywhere, playing nearly every minute.
Yeah, he was massive. Yeah, he's a hard worker, so it's no surprise. But yeah, he was massive.
It's pretty nice as a local junior to have a few of those other boys that are locals and grow up supporting the Dragons on the side.
Yeah, it's definitely a good feeling.
Just on that as well, you're a young one, perhaps from here, Dylan, even Christian's still young. What's it like seeing the local talent and you guys all doing it at the same time?
Yeah, it's cool to see. Yeah, Hamish and Dylan obviously got their cracks this year. I played a sheep ball with them, so yeah, it's cool to see them going well. Yeah.
Doing it with each other, is that an extra motivation?
Not so much. I feel like all the boys here, just because I played a bit of footy with them growing up, everyone here I'm motivated to play with. So yeah, it is cool, but I wouldn't say it's extra motivation. Like obviously they're playing really well, and that's a really good thing for us.
What are you going to do well this weekend? Obviously, Manly, even if they don't have to, they've still got so much strike power moving forwards.
Yeah.
How do you shut them down?
Yeah, obviously they're a very good attacking team, and they're not afraid to shift the ball. So we know what's coming, and we need to execute our game plan both with and without the ball, and yeah, defend well.
How big will we be when you go back to back? And you sort of got the season off and away and rolling.
100%. That's exactly right. We need to string some wins together, and we haven't been able to do that this year. We've had a couple of good wins, but some disappointing losses as well. So a bit of consistency would be good, and yeah, that starts this Thursday night versus Manly.
He's outstanding, mate.
Yeah, it's well spoken as well.
Future captain material.
I feel sorry for Ryan.
Yeah,
because he was actually supposed to get a start before Toby.
Yeah,
and he done his leg back 2 years ago, and Toby got the start in front of him. So,
well, that's the same story in cricket. Remember Steve Waugh and Mark Waugh? When Steve Waugh got dropped for his brother Mark Waugh. So amazing how shit can happen.
Yeah.
When you want it to go well, but when it's brothers, like that, incredible.
Yeah.
Actually, here's a moment from history. So back in 2003, when we played Manly in Wollongong yesterday, 22 years ago, the Dragons were fined $5,000 by the NRL with Nathan Brown slapping Captain Trent.
Billy wasn't even born then.
Nah, I say that though. I definitely say that.
Wow.
Billy, you weren't even zero.
No, he wasn't even born. Wasn't even speaking on his daddy's eye. Oh yeah, Bill. All right, let's go, Jess.
All right, so we'll move on. Okay, now we'll get into some news and rumors we've seen in the last 24 to 48 hours. First one that we've seen most recently, Lachlan Galvin. He's been linked to a few clubs. after announcing that he won't be at the Tigers beyond 2026. Jerome Luai, the co-captains of the club and the leadership group at the Tigers today, went to Coach Benji Marshall to request that he no longer be in the team. It's no good for the team morale, and doesn't want to be there. They're just not happy with the attitude he's getting from them. Sorry, what he's showing for the team. When this news dropped, Billy, what did you make of it? Does it come as a shock, or did you see him staying at the Tigers or not?
Yeah, well, earlier, like, I don't know when the rumor started, but like he was pretty keen to stay at the Tigers a while back. I don't know something must have changed, but the move from the players to stand up and be like, you know, if you don't want to play for us, sit on the bench or sit in reserve, right? That's a great thing. Like, there's not much players who would do that, who would drop a pretty decent young player who's key in the team. He's a 5'8", he's not coming off the bench. Say, oh yeah, let's drop him. We have faith in our team, and he's not standing up to the culture and the my standards. It's great. Like that's a great thing for Tigers, because previous years they would just let him play the whole season. They've taken a great approach to that.
Anything to add on that, Rob or Big T? Do you have anything to say on that?
Big T's frozen. Big T's gone.
Will you say something, Rob? What's your take on it?
Look, I've seen a lot of plays, right? So I'm 55. I've seen Andrew Eddinghausen's, Laurie Daly's, Brad Fittler's, all these great players. There's so many more. Jeff Tuvey come through at a similar age. And no offense to Lachlan Galvin, I know he's going to become, a top player, but I don't think he's in the class of those players, at the same age. So to say and to be as disloyal as he has to the West Tigers, and to say Benji Marshall's coaching's not really doing anything for him, and that he can go to another club and go to get better coach and progress his career even better than what it is, in the future. I think it's pretty hurtful stuff. And I think if you got senior players like Jerome and Abby coming out and absolutely dead set don't wanting to play anymore for the team, then that's telling me that he doesn't want to be there, Lockie Galvin. He thinks he's been in the West Tigers team. And as we found out, Chock Mundine found out, Gordon Tallis found out, there's no one player that's bigger than their club. And I think Lockie Galvin's going to find out. And again, he's not in the class of the Fittlers, the Dailies, the Eddinghausens, all those sort of guys at that age. You know what I mean? We're much better players. So he's going to learn life the hard way, I think, mate. And I applaud the West Tigers for doing what they're doing. I would have liked to have seen Ben Hunt sit in New South Wales Cup for a couple of games as well, too, to be honest with you. Shut him up, you know what I mean, when he wanted out 3 times, I think, out of the Dragons.
Yeah, we know what your opinion was on that, Rob. We know what your opinion was.
And now you're missing.
I agree, but I agree, you know what I mean, with the West Tigers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to take it, because otherwise it doesn't look good. And
is it cutting their nose off to spite their face?
Well, probably, mate. At the end of the day, because it's a crucial part of they probably could make the top 8 this season. So it's difficult. And their other half's out at the moment as well too. I don't know how long he's out for. But I agree.
He's going back to Parramatta.
Yeah.
You know what else is a problem? He said months ago that Benji Marshall was like great for the playmakers because he kills it. So he's just.
And now they're saying Benji Marshall isn't for me. Benji Marshall isn't for me.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm glad if he's linked with Moses and Shane Flanagan. Well, let's go that way as well. We'll take.
You don't think that Dylan Brown getting what he's getting now, and money's money. And that Isaac Moses is a very money-hungry player manager as well. Has affected Lockie Galvin to think. I mean, but apparently the deal of the West Tigers was on the table was $5 million. Is it or something like that, Jesse?
I haven't heard that.
$5 million over 5 years, I think it was.
Yeah, so obviously it's a decent
offer. He's wanting more.
he's obviously thinking he's going to get 1.4, 1.5. I mean, well, we started to talk more money than Nathan Cleary, and I would have thought Nathan Cleary's really.
He's the best halfback in the game right now.
Yeah.
I don't want Galvin here. That's for sure. I don't want.
Well, Big Tiff, I've heard some people say in socials like the Tigers have pretty much given them the keys to Campbelltown, as Rob said, get someone the keys to Wollongong. Galvin's got the keys to Campbelltown and Leichhardt, and a chance to play alongside like a player like Jerome Luai.
There you go.
But he doesn't want to be part of it. Do you think
he's
only a young bloke? He still doesn't know what's going on completely.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. He's only a young bloke. Chris Haynes is saying $6 million over 5 years. Was on NRL 360. That's a lot of money for a 19-year-old. He's 19, isn't he?
Yep. Yeah. Hasn't achieved. He's still only.
Is that your age, Billy?
No, he's 1 year older than me, actually.
1 year old. Wouldn't you like to be getting $1.2 million a year?
He's not
doing something that you absolutely love. And
he's not a Fred Fittler or a Laurie Daly at the same age. You know,
hasn't achieved anything yet. No.
No, that's right. Exactly right. Yeah.
I want to say, I reckon you'll go to Penrith. Penrith need a 5'8". I think it's perfect.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of halves of 5'8" move around next year. Like we get Atkinson's coming to us.
I just think Jack
Dylan
Cole
Brown
and
to
Grace
Newcastle.
Kalungi are rubbish.
Can Atkinson play halfback though? He obviously plays 5'8". Has he played halfback as a junior, or he can play
I haven't
halfback?
seen him play 5'8".
Yeah, so I don't know. So it's a big. I don't know. I really don't. I mean, we were after
half and 5'8" are changing around now. It's not as static as it used to be. We're seeing a lot often now. It's going from the 6 to the 7 or the 7 to the 6 as it goes out through the centres. If you watch a couple of other games,
yeah.
What game was it? I think it might have been Tigers game. The Staffatoa was going from one side of the field to the other. And that's the game is changing.
Well, I mean, look at South the other week, mate, when we played South, or when Ravalawa was playing for South, Ravalawa was feeding the scrum.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't matter anymore as a halfback, does it? No, I agree with you. Jerome Luai is a great example. I mean, obviously 5'8" through and through, but he's halfback and doing well West Tigers, so they can run a team around. So stranger things happen, don't they?
Oh, well.
I've seen this come through in the last 24 hours. This has come from the the Wide World of Sports site. So it says our current halves with Lachlan Ilias, he's off contract at the end of 2026, like Galvin at the Tigers, while the coach's son has a further year to go. So that's till 2027 at Wollongong. While both are honest players who have shown they do have good performances in them, as recent as the game over the Titans last weekend. It says that neither Flanagan or Ilias are the halves to take the Dragons to a premiership. Would you both agree? Would you all agree with that?
Yeah,
Are Flanagan and Ilias the halves to take us to a premiership?
Absolutely, 100% for me. Like, if you're talking top four, make top four to honestly statistically make a premiership, I don't see Ilias and Flanagan, both of them. You know what I mean? At the same time, being those players to do it, it's just not. They're not good enough.
Yeah, well, one player it says who could take Flanagan's neck to the next level is Galvin, and it would be silly for the Dragons not to take a look at him, at least just take a look at him to get him for 2027. Flanagan's also managed by Moses, the controversial Moses, which could assist the Saints in any potential bid for the former Australian schoolboy standout.
Yeah,
so he has been
Manly.
He's been linked to Manly with another ex-Tigers half that's had trouble in the past. He's been linked to the Roosters. Could be a potential halves partner for Sam Walker. He has been linked to the Bulldogs. Phil Gould has a high opinion of him as well. So
Apparently the Bulldogs have been talking to him for a long time through Moses. So I don't know if they can do that.
That I don't know how it would eventuate, because they got Matt Burton in the halves. I don't know if it's I don't see Matt Burton as a 7. And what does that mean for the future of Toby Sexton if Galvin did go there?
He's been copping every year, Toby Sexton.
I was just was watching. What was it? I was watching tonight. One of the rugby league things
360?
anyway. Yeah, 360, and they were saying, mate, from 2 weeks ago, obviously they were 3 weeks ago looking at extending Toby, but that got put on the back burner. And so yeah, I mean, again, stranger things happen. But back to our team, I think crossroads are going to happen because Atkinson's coming in next year. I don't see how Atkinson won't be in the half. I think he's going to take a spot in the half.
Exactly.
So Flanagan all early. Yeah, and then when Flanagan Jr. came to the club, his father did a press conference and said that he was going to be a backup, hooker and also a 14. And he's a stopgap, whatever you call it, like for a 5'8". We found a 5'8". So obviously Atkinson's a 5'8". So if Ilias doesn't dramatically improve, I don't know. Are we in the market for another half? As Big T said, they can. Most of these days, some 6 can play 7, 7 can play 6. So stranger things happen, don't they? Right. I mean, I like Fogarty. Fogarty, he's a good player, but
But Scripps been pushing Glover. He likes Glover, like the young bloke in the Reggies now. He's not going too bad. He's a good little player. So
like a King Coggier.
Yeah, but I think like King Coggier is a 5'8". He's not a halfback. Lachlan King Coggier reminds me of Amon, the way he plays.
Atkinson, I think Trindle was out for 6 weeks and Hines was out for longer, and he came in and ran the team.
He did.
The Sharks team, and they won more games than they lost. And he was meant to be very impressive. So running the team around the park, and I guess that's probably what we need. Someone to run it around. And he scored field goals. It was a field goal he scored against Melbourne. They beat Melbourne in the last, 30 seconds. And Amy Park, which is no mean feat. We did it, obviously, but that was when Ben Hunt was there. So, yeah, I mean, Atkinson looks like, to me, he's going to be the guy that's going to run the team around. So maybe a Lockie Galvin or a player like that, maybe a bit of X factor or whatever, I don't know. Free to run is maybe what we need.
Yep. And Big T, you're a Queenslander. This one's more women's related. Queensland have named their team for Origin 1. That's due to start in a couple of weeks in women's Origin. So they've won the last 3 series. Queensland. The last two of the last 3 series.
Yeah.
I'll run through the squad. So there's a few changes. I'll bring it up and we'll have a look. So I'll read it out anyway. Okay. So we have Taryn Aiken, Ali Brigginshaw, Destiny Brill, Ali Brigginshaw, Lauren Brown, Shanesha Solka, Jessica Elliston, Jada Ferguson from Brisbane, a debutante potentially. Georgia Hanaway played in that grand final Sharks team. Sophie Hollyman, Keely Joseph, Chelsea Lenarduzzi, Sienna Lafifo, Hayley Medic, Rory Owen had a breakout year with Parramatta last year, the centre. Tavana Papali'i played in the Roosters grand final team. Jasmine Peters, Julie Robinson, Romy Teitzel, Tamika Upton, Mackenzie Wheel rounds out the Queensland team for game 1.
Did you say Brigginshaw and Broughton?
No, Broughton's a Kiwi, so she's not
Broughton's a Kiwi, there you go, yeah. No, Brigginshaw, no. I reckon she's going to play till she's 60, that woman. She's just so good up in the Broncos side. And playing for Queensland. Destiny Brill's a great player. They've got great players all over the park, and I think we can do it again.
So what's your take of that squad that Queensland picked? No Shannon Marto. She's out this year. She's pregnant, so she won't play anything this year.
Tom was not in the team.
Nope.
No.
And Ivania Polite.
She's a great player.
Vania Azarko now. She's married now. She's also
Jermaine. Did she marry Jermaine?
No.
No? Another Azarko.
Playing of Azarko.
Oh, okay.
So she's also out.
Oh, no. I haven't seen the team, so I can't totally comment on it. But a few changes from last year. Brigginshaw's there still. You got the fullback. What's her name? Upton. Tamika Upton. And now she's at Brisbane as well. So they could have a top side this year.
Yep. And a player that actually has been spoken about that could potentially make her New South Wales Origin debut is this player.
Flash. No.
Drum beat, drum roll.
You can get a,
Yeah.
I think I had a quote that stuck with me. I think it actually came out in under 19 and I carried that a lot through NRLW. That was just enjoy the process. I think sometimes when you can get a bit caught up. Sometimes you do put a little bit of pressure on yourself, but it's just about enjoying the process. We've got a good group here, and sometimes, you play footy because you love footy, and sometimes I think probably last year you do forget a little bit, like, whatever happened last year, it doesn't really matter when you come into this season. It's all about what you're going to do next, and my eyes are looking forward, and I don't want to take a backward step at all. I want to keep my foot down on the pedal, and I want to keep getting through and getting better. So it's just about improving myself every time I get into the gym, or every time I step out here, or whatever it is. Just want to improve myself.
I know you're a Queenslander Big T, but
Yeah.
how awesome would it be to see Casey Ray get an Origin debut for New
It would
South
be great.
Wales?
It would be great to see her get a debut. The Flash should be in there as well, shouldn't she? She should be up there high on the pecking order. So, no, it'd be good to see Casey Ray get a run. She had a great breakout season with the Dragons last year. So, I'm glad we kept her, and yeah, I hope the girls do better this year. Marry me, Casey Ray. Liam Fallon. Hey?
You're dreaming, Scoop.
How's that? You're dreaming, son.
All right. So we'll get into our round 7 tips. We'll kick it off with the Good Friday blockbuster, and as Scoop highlighted earlier in the comments, there is 70,000 people expected to fill a core stadium on Good Friday afternoon. Bulldogs, great job to them. Well, not when I say this, but the Bulldogs, they're offering $10 tickets to anyone that wants to sit in the top tier at a core stadium to come in and watch that game. They're taking cost of living into account. So great initiative by the Bulldogs. Hey, Rob, $10 tickets.
Absolutely, mate. They're going to get a massive crowd. My tip is the Dogs, but I just can't see South beating them. I think they'll be too strong. And, mate, there's going to be a massive Bulldog contingent there, obviously, to follow them. So, yep, I think the Doggies, I hate to say it, but I think the Doggies.
Yeah,
the Easter show will be on at the same time.
There'll be
there'll be a big crowd there. The last time the Bulldogs went 6-0 to start a year was back in 1938, Billy. Will that happen this year?
Far out. My grandpa was like 5 years old.
I wasn't even thought of, Bill.
1938. Far out. It could happen. I don't think it will.
The Great Reset.
Give me the crow. Give me the crow. South Sydney.
You want the crow?
Give me the crow.
What's the crow? Play South Sydney. There you go.
I'm feeling old, Big T. My parents were born in 1935.
Yeah.
Not my grandparents, my parents.
South Sydney by 6, and give me Latrell to score a hat trick. They like to win on Good Friday, so.
They're Easter buddies.
We'll go through some team changes. So Matt Burton and Satili Chipinil return. Viliama Kikau's been named on extended bench. So they're 3 big ends if they all come through and play. Souths do welcome back Cody Walker. And the Englishman, Lewis Dodd, will finally get his NRL debut off the bench.
Oh, there you go.
And there's our crow. We'll get into our next game. So the next game will be Friday night up in Brisbane, Big T. It's the Dolphins up against the Melbourne Storm. Melbourne absolutely love playing at Suncorp Stadium. It's pretty much like their second home, apart from Amy Park. There is a couple of changes for the Melbourne Storm, though. So Saul Folongo will come in for his first game of the year. He'll come onto the wing. Moses Leo drops out of the side, the Rugby Sevens convert. The rest of the team is unchanged, although Jerome Hughes did pick up a shoulder injury in their win over the Warriors last Sunday. Yes. So he's under a bit of an injury cloud. Tyron Wishart is on standby to play halfback if he's ruled out. The Dolphins do welcome back Well, Frank Moller actually has been named on the extended bench, former Dragon, and Ray Stone is available back from suspension. He comes into the squad. He could come into the 17 on game day. The rest of the Dolphins team is unchanged. Do the Storm keep going? Big T.
Oh, for sure. You've got Pappenhausen, you've got Harry Grant. He's been playing fine. You've got the back rows like we talked about last time. Bloor and Katoa. They couldn't even get into the Tigers and Warriors side. Now they're going in Melbourne killing it. Uto Ikamanu. He's just a big body. He scored a try last week. So I can't go past Melbourne.
Just too strong.
Melbourne for you too, Rob? Yep. All right. Next game will be on Saturday, 5:30 in New Zealand. It'll be the Warriors taking on the Broncos. The Warriors have lost Chancellor Hookstad. Tane Tupiki will move to the back. Edward Cossey comes onto one wing. Kurt Capewell makes the shift from the back row to the centres. Jackson Ford comes into the front row with James Fitzgerald out for 6 weeks with a pec injury. Leka Halasima, he's been impressive off the bench, young back rower. He comes into the run-on side. Jacob Laban and Tamare Martin will come onto the bench. For the Broncos, Jaden Hunt comes into the back row with Jack Kajewski suspended. Jordan Ricky also returns from suspension, and Tyson Smoothie comes onto the bench for the Broncos. Martin Tapa'u drops out of the 17. Billy, can the Warriors bounce back? Who bounces back from defeat last week? The Warriors at home, or do you like the Broncos getting it done away?
I personally am going to go with the Broncos. I just think the Warriors have lost too much players from Sunday. And they're all big losses to the fullback, the front rower, and he's the leader of the team. And who else was it? Someone got shifted into the centres, so...
Capewell.
Yeah, massive. He does a good job in the centres, Capewell, though.
Yeah,
he does a good job out there.
I think Broncos...
he's at it again.
not that much. I've got Broncos winning 26-12. So
yeah, Broncos for me.
Yep.
Too many changes in the Warriors.
The other game on Saturday night, the Roosters, they were impressive in their win against the Broncos. They do welcome back. What's his name, Big T? What's the Rooster center's name? Mark
Nitawase.
So he comes in for suspended Billy Smith. And well, that's the only change the Roosters have made. They're up against the Panthers. 5 straight losses for the Panthers. They are in a huge hole. How do they get out of this, Rob? They've made no changes. Actually, they have made one. Luke Garner comes into centres with Isaac Tungo dumped to the bench.
The last game I saw them play was so clunky. I've never seen the Panthers like that for I don't know how long ago, but I just can't believe that they wouldn't come back and win the game. So I really don't know, what to pick, who to pick. They're leading Fallon. I saw Woodsy at Lugano, mate. He's after you. He's going to get Blocker up. They're going to use you as a punching bag. I'm not joking. I saw Woodsy. He lives at Lugano. So I told him that you're been bagging our Blocker. So, mate, Lugano Park, you name a time, and I want to use it.
Tickets free?
I don't know, Jess. I can't pick. I don't know. I'll just say Panthers because I just can't believe the Panthers are going to lose another game.
No, that's right. Yes. How can the Panthers lose 6 in a row?
That show, Rob. Billy wants some tickets to that fight. Do you have any?
Bill could be the referee, mate.
I don't think I'm going to need to do much.
Now, how competitive lose 6 in a row? How?
Yeah, I can't believe it.
I think though, Mary needs to come back from England at the moment. She's injured. Because that's what he needs. That's what he needs.
They do welcome back Mitch Kenny. Have also made a positional switch too. Casey McLean has actually shifted from wing to centre, and Thomas Jenkins has shifted from centre to wing. So I don't know what Ivan Cleary's actually. He admitted they're in a hole and they've got to do a lot to get out of it.
Scratching his
So
head.
I just can't see
think-
how the Panthers get out of this.
I think it's love lost. I think Nathan's thinking somewhere else. I think that's his problem.
He had his worst game in 5 years last week.
Oh, how many times? How many times? Not a knock on, but how many times did the ball hit the ground from passes from Penrith last
Like
week?
he lost trust.
Oh, nobody could catch the ball. The ball was going behind them.
Big
It was-
T.
they were-
Big T, you own a few mansions down in the Illawarra. Just get Mary to come over and give Nathan and Mary a mansion on the beach down there.
Yeah,
mate.
that'd be lovely,
Drive
mate.
Limo
Oh.
around.
I'll give him part of your property.
We'll take Nathan Cleary as halfback. There you go.
Yeah.
Even Shea Fleming will drop his son for Nathan Cleary.
And I'll get Mary to come back and play for the Illawarra girls side too, so I can do all that.
All right. Yeah, the next game will be on Sunday afternoon up on the Gold Coast. It's the Titans taking on the Raiders. The Titans do welcome back their captain, Tino Fa'asuamala-awi.
Massive
How
loss.
big and guess what, Big T, you'll love this. His little brother is off. has been
Isaac's
named on
playing
the team.
too. I like Isaac
Yes.
better.
As Brock Gray
Wow.
been suspended for his high shot on Jack DeBellin.
Yeah, there was a
Um,
shock in that high shot. That was a shocker.
And for the Raiders, they've made a couple of changes. So they put Corey Horsburgh back into the front row. Zach Hosking is back into the team, into the 17. Morgan Smithies will start at lock. Zach Hosking's on the bench. Josh Papali'i is dropped back to the bench. And Semi Sasangi drops out of the 17. The Raiders have been impressive, haven't they, Billy? Do you think they continue it against the Titans up on Easter Sunday on the Goldie?
Yeah, I certainly do see that happening. I think Raiders win 30-16. I think Raiders have been great. Like, people underestimated them again at the start of the season. And they just compete. All of their players are effort players. Even Fogarty, Fogarty's class. He's really smart. And that's why Manly want him, because he's a smart halfback, and that's how they're going to replace DCE, who's also a smart halfback. So, yep, Raiders 30-16. This is their best chance this year. They got a real good chance.
Big T?
Oh, Raiders. The Raiders, I pull my hair out with the Raiders. I'm waiting for them to fall, and they keep winning. Yeah, but I think I can't see the Titans, not after last week's effort. Like that first set after half time for the Titans really set the tone for the second half. So they were one out in the first set after half time. So Raiders.
Oh, Raiders as well too, mate. I think Sticky's got it right now. He's starting to get Big Josh off the bench as well as a good move.
Probably retired.
How good's Corey Horsburgh been?
Yeah,
He's back in Origin form the way he's playing. Big T.
Yeah, for sure. Full sure.
So, and on as well too. And he's not in any lip with the ref or anything like that. He's serious this year, Corey. So I don't know. I think they're going to be way too good. I thought we were great, our Dragons, but I think the Titans were pretty bloody hopeless. So I think the Raiders are going to smash them. Probably more than what we did. So.
Well, Scoops put his tip in again. He's not going as extreme as his previous tips.
He's scared.
That's more respectable, not like
That's right.
out of this world.
It's more plausible.
All right. The other game on Sunday will be at McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle. The Knights, their attack's been awful. They've only scored 46 points in 5 games.
They've scored 4 points in 160 minutes.
Yeah.
They just they can't score.
They're not passing.
They have made some changes. So Tyson Gamble will play his first game of the year. He's been named at halfback, pushing Phoenix Crossland to hooker. Leo Thompson's twin brother, Tyrone, who made his NRL debut last week, he's been put back to the bench. Tyson Frizzell has been named to start in the front row. And Matt Croker will start at lock. So Adam O'Brien's rung in the changes there. Jaden Bradley will go back to the bench. And Brody Jones comes into the 17. And James Schiller does return from injury from that facial injury a couple of weeks ago. Kyle McCarthy, who made his debut against the Tigers, he's the 80th man. And Matt Arthur also made his debut against he made his Knights debut against the Sharks. Against the Tigers last Sunday. For the Sharks, Adam Fanul-Blake has been named despite going off with an injury. So it's going to be a touch and go to whether they see he plays or not. And the rest of the team is unchanged from their win over Manly. Do the Sharks continue on? They haven't been great to start the year. But Billy, do you think the Sharks come with it? Newcastle have been disappointing recently.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm really on the edge of this one. I don't know, because Knights might turn up. It's at Newcastle. So you never know.
Newcastle last week as well.
Yeah, I know. And that's what shocked me. I had them. Well, I tipped Tigers, but it was just an absolute,
toss of a coin.
Throw out there and hope. So, look, unfortunately, I'm going to have to tip the Sharks, and I think it'll be closer though. I think 20 to 14. So.
Yeah, Liam wants the Shacks to win. The
Who are the
Shacks? Another Shacks.
The Shacks. I want the Shacks.
Rob, do you like the Sharks?
Sharks for sure, mate. I think going to be way too strong, and I think the Sharks are turning their form now. I think they're eyeing off the top four, and that's where they probably should be. I mean, I hate the Sharks with a passion, of course, us being Dragons, but yeah, AFB. God, if we had an AFB or a Payne Haas in our team, how good would it be for us? But yeah, I just think he's inspiration. Apparently, I've heard things like he's come in, he's made a huge difference as a senior player to the pack as well, to the Sharks. Mate, look at their back five, the way they run it out. You know what I mean? The meters they make. So, Newcastle, big T's, right? They just look crap. They can't score.
No Caleb Horner, no Newcastle.
He picked up a ball from a kick that ricocheted off the West Tigers play, and that's the only way they scored.
That's right, yeah. It was a lucky try. That's two games of football. 2 games of football, and they scored in the last 5 minutes, last minute.
And they're probably one of the best attacking players in the NRL, and Ponga, and he just looks hopeless at the moment as well, too. Lost. Yeah, you can't get through. They just look pedestrian. They look like they're going backwards. So yeah, Sharks.
Teams know you beat. If you want to beat the Knights, you shut down Caleb Ponga. That shuts down the Knights.
Oh, 100%.
And then the final game of the round will be the Easter Monday traditional clash. Big T, it's the Tigers and the Eels. The Tigers have made some changes. Also, obviously, we spoke about
big in. It's a big in coming.
Brent Naden comes in. He had a dislocated kneecap in the trial, so he's come back. He's been good in New South Wales Cup, averaging 200 meters a game. So he comes into the centres. Young Luke Law-Lily comes in on the wing. Jerome Luai has made the move to 5'8". Adam Dewey has been named a halfback. And let's have a look. And the rest of the team is between. For the Eels, Jack Williams does return from injury. He comes into the front row. Joel Hoffingawi is out of the team. I think he's picked up an injury. Matt Dury comes in onto the bench as well for the Eels. And Kelma Tuolangi will play the first game of his year. Ryan Madison drops out of the 17. But a huge in for the Eels. Captain Mitchell Moses returns. How big an in is that, Big T?
That's a huge in. They weren't expecting him for another 2 weeks, but he's come back early. Hope he hasn't come back too early, because I really rate Mitchell Moses as a player. A couple of years ago, I would have said he's fighting up there. Maybe last year, fighting up there with Cleary as the best halfback in the game. I think he's got a more complete game than Cleary. But yeah, having him back's a big thing. Losing Galvin is another big thing. Dewey goes to halfback. Is there anywhere that played? Yeah, he hasn't played. Adam Dewey. He's played all over the park. Now he's at halfback. I think that the Eels could have another win here. I think they might have another win.
Jake Galvin.
There's Jag Galvin.
Jake.
We know who he means.
We know who you mean, Scoop. Billy, do you think the Tigers keep the pain on for the Eels?
Nope. I'm going to go Para.
Moses backs Biggie.
I know. Moses and Dylan Brown have a great combo. So, you know what? I hope Para win because they've had it rough. Unfortunately, they beat our fucking inconsistent Chocolate team. But, you know, I reckon now with Moses back, they're going to be a bit more direct, a bit more sharp, and should be good to see. Should be a good game. So.
But the most important game of the round that will kick off the Easter weekend will be Thursday night, our big game against the Manly Seagulls. Can we get our back-to-back wins for the first time this year? We'll start with you, Rob. Do you like our chances to head to the Northern Beaches and come away with the victory there at Fortress Brookie?
Don't laugh at me, Big T. I had a dream, and it was a legitimate dream, okay? And I dreamt that there was 20 seconds in the match left. You know, Flano's been on the sideline, and Flano's walking, you know how he walks. He's a big guy, bigger than Flano. He's walking over, he's putting his hand up in the air, he's pointing at one, he falls over, the ball goes to Holmes, 30 metres out, field goal. Flano misses it, and we win the game. Dream. Flano hitting the deck face first, trying to say, go for one. You know what I mean? And, yep, we win by a field goal.
Is that in Golden Point? Golden Point, we win by a field goal?
I know about Golden Point. I think the dream was just a normal time, 30 seconds to go, and a high-scoring game as well, too.
Liam's going 30-0, 40-0, 50-0, 60-0. And he's going us by one. On you, Liam.
We don't want to go to Golden Point. We have a high
we don't. We do.
So I think we seal at normal time in a thriller, high-scoring thriller, and Flano's going to hit the deck. And not have a heart attack, but have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Billy.
Well, I've got a scoop that it's going to be pissing down on Thursday in Manly. So it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be an error fest, unfortunately.
Really, so a big lot of rain coming. I didn't know that. So interesting.
From what I've seen, from all the weather apps and everything I've looked up, it's going to be raining. So I think it's going to be 20 to 14 to the Dragons. Cook to score the game-winning try. He's due. He's got to be due for a try. He hasn't scored all year.
So from dummy half over close to the line.
Yep, or running out of dummy half.
Yeah.
That's the break,
Nice.
So.
Just looking at the forecast of Rookwell on Thursday, it says partly cloudy, high chance of showers, most likely in the morning.
Yeah, it's okay then. It's good.
Sweet.
I'm going to go... Oh, do you have an anytime try scorer, Robin and Billy?
Yep.
There you go, Billy.
I said Cook.
Cook, okay. I think it's going to be a big one. I think... we're averaging 23 points a game in our attack. I think we have to score we have to get at least 20 points to win this game. I'm going to go Dragons by 6. I'm going to go, I think, let's have a look. I think Val will get a try. We do have that lethal left side.
I think so too.
Val's going to be a try scorer at any point in the game. I'm going to go Dylan Egan to get his second try of his career. He was huge for us last Friday. And, I think our forwards are really going to have to stand up. We're going to have to overcome this big Manly pack. So the Eagle will land at Brookie. Our Eagle, not theirs. And Dragons by 6.
Yeah,
Big
totally agree. Totally agree with you, Jess. I think the Dragons will. I think they'll win by 12. Actually, and we'll get that 12 number out of our head. We can get rid of that then, and win a game by 12, and won't lose the game. But yeah, I think Slade will get a try over Talau. Maybe two. Talau's not a tall guy. Slane's a little bit taller than him, so we'll go there. TC will get the first try. Dragons by 12.
Yep. Well, thanks everyone for joining tonight. And if you haven't, and before you do go, I just want to wish you and all your families too a great Easter. But we will be back on Sunday to hopefully review a back-to-back wins. But wishing you and all your families the best for Easter. Yes, Big T.
I was going to say, if I'm on Sunday, you're paying me triple time. I don't think I'm on Sunday.
No, I think I'm on Sunday with Donald Bell.
No, Donnie's in Japan.
Is he
Oh,
not?
he's stuck in.
I saw the cancellation to the.
To go to Japan, that's right. Yeah. Cancel his flight.
Yeah, Donnie won't be on for a few weeks, so
Family holiday. Not work.
So it's up to us. Up to the B team.
We know
B team.
I scoop on, is he?
He's saying I'm happy to do Sunday.
Everybody out there, we're going to change his name to Dickie Knee from Hey Hey.
It's always popping up. All right, well, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. And you'll be watching the Mad Dragons podcast, proudly sponsored by Complete Warehouse Solutions. Go and see Jeff and the team at 6 Commerce Drive, Lake Illawarra on 4257-1930 or 0417-223-409. You've been watching the Mad Dragons podcast. So go to the Dragons on Thursday night. As Big T says, Red V is a part of me. Come on, Dragons fans. Fire!
Coco is at Pound's heart, she wears it on her sleeve. As Mustard tells tales of dragons, wins, and tuna victory. Tony and the MV crew will do their very best. Hitting up topic and I digress with a red V on our chest. The Mad Dragon podcast is a sheep of camaraderie. Navigating rants down rabbit holes in the land of big red V. And so our paddlers weave the tales and our pursuit is our dream. The Mad Dragon podcast, funded by